Welcome, everybody. It's the journalist Sin-seer, and tonight I have the pleasure of speaking with executive producer, A&R manager, a legendary figure in the music industry. Everybody, welcome, please, Greedy Greg. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, what's happening? What's happening?
No doubt we want to take it back a little bit and talk about your early beginnings and then what you have going on in 2024. But for those who may not know where you were born and raised, can you take us back to where you were born and raised at?
Born and raised in Los Angeles, South Central, OG from the hood. Still in the hood, but still doing my thing. I started back as a DJ in LA. I did a lot of nightclubs and stuff, and then I tried to do a little producing. And the first act that I worked with was Tone Loc, which actually is my cousin. I did help him do the Wild Thing, and I forgot the records. Wild Thing and whatever.
Cold Medina.
Yeah, Funky Cold Medina, Chiba Chiba.
Yeah.
Then I start working with DJ Quik. I did some work with the group called the LA Dream Team.
Okay.
I did some work with then I did DJ Quik, executive produced DJ Quik, Second to None, AMG, executive produced Domino, female group called Moke and Stealth, Above the Law. Who else? Pretty much I didn't work with mostly everybody on the West Coast.
Okay.
A lot of groups on the West Coast.
Before we get into all those acts, let's take it all the way back. Was Tone Loc your first way into the industry?
That was my first way in the industry. It's actually my cousin, and I used to DJ, and I used to have a sound and lighting company, and the label called me, and they were looking for an act, and I just threw my cousin, in there, and we had a couple of singles before we actually hit with Wild Thing, and then went on from there.
What was that like, seeing your cousin pay his dues before signing with Delicious Vinyl?
It was a great feeling, it's a great feeling to hear your work on the radio for the first time. The first time, yes, I did it, I made it,
Right.
Really made it.
Right. Did he shop a deal? How did he land at Delicious Vinyl?
But we didn't shop a deal at all. They, the guys at Delicious Vinyl, they were also DJs too, and they used to rent equipment from me. But they were, they had a little money, and they wanted to get into the rap game, and they hit me one day and said they were looking for some rappers. So I just do what I do. All right, connect the dots. Let's go. Let's try to make it happen.
Right.
What
role did you play on that particular album?
I just was managing and try to coordinate the deal.
Right.
Wow, what's that? Was that you or me?
Back on? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it just froze up for a minute.
Oh, okay.
So talk a little bit about seeing those singles bubble. For me, a kid in Indiana around the age of 14, 15, I'm seeing Wild Thing on heavy rotation on MTV. What was that like? And how long did it take for that to see momentum?
Well, back in the day, they said things are easier now than they were, but no. Back in the day, it was a lot more simpler because there was a lot less layers, Back in the day, if you can get it on the radio, you get a bunch of, you send it out to DJs across the country, and you get a couple of promoters, you're on. Now there's so many damn layers, you don't know what you need to get to. There's TikTok, there's this, there's that. You got, if you don't do this, you're not gonna get, your record's not gonna bubble. But it was a great feeling watching the record bubble. Your record could blow up actually back in the day a lot faster because there was less people that you had to get it to, and there's less traffic. It wasn't so many records out there. If you was able to do your record and come out with something that sound decent, sound good, people tend to play your records faster than they are now. Back then, DJs, they was excited to have new music. So now, everybody, they got a cup out. Hey, can you, a tip cup out? Can you, I want this. Can you do this for me? If you want me to play your record, you want me to blow you up, it's going to cost you this now, but it was a great feeling. Your record can actually blow up back in the day faster. Your record can blow up in a week's time.
Right.
Even though it was harder to get it across country, across the world, people really, really appreciated the art more. To me, now it's just kind of weird.
Very weird.
It's like what I think is good is bad is good, and what I think is bad is good. It's like, how's that record even getting past the gate? Half these records that are out now that are bubbling and blowing up, people back in the day would have ran them out of the studio. Like, get that BS.
Right.
I mean, it like Tone record. It took us 3 singles before we actually caught on.
Really?
Yeah. It
so
was Chiva Chiva, On Fire, and then Wild Thing. Like, we shot the video for $500. Just had about 4 or 5 girls, shot it black and white. Ran around with a little camera, and that was it.
What was some of your best memories of that video shoot?
The pretty girls. And then, they were back then, the women were happy to be in your video. They wasn't trying to tax you. These new video vixens, boy, woo. I think we created a monster, because when we start paying them, it's like everybody wants to get paid now. Like, but everybody can't get paid. I can't pay. You can't pay everybody.
Right.
You try to pay everybody, you go broke.
Right. Initially, how many albums did he sign with Delicious Vinyl?
It was like 4 albums.
Okay. Only two came out?
The only 2 came out, Our artists usually explode after, after the second album. They just, either they run out of ideas, or concepts, or they get full of themselves.
Right.
Most of them get full of themselves. You're only great as the team you have around you.
Right. Once Wild Thing blew up, how did life for Greedy Greg change?
Well, you don't want to know that story.
Yeah, sure we do.
For me at all, because we fell out.
Right after that single?
Right after that single.
Wow.
And
that was due to
the fact that he became full of himself.
Okay.
He got paid, but he didn't want to pay me.
Okay.
So that became an issue. And then he decided to sign with another management group.
Okay. Were you able to take him on tour? Were you able to see that part of the success?
No, not so. This is how it went down.
Okay.
Wild Thing blew up on Monday. He was on the road Thursday and stopped answering my calls.
Okay.
I couldn't get in touch with him. Now, before then, I carried him for about 2 years,
Right.
Make sure he was cool. But once he got a little shine, stopped answering my call, changed numbers, never was at home. I don't know, he might have been looking out the window when I was knocking on the door or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was around 1989.
Yeah.
After that, where was Gritty Greg at finding himself back again?
You want to know the truth? I went into a little slight depression, started drinking.
Understandably.
And then I got myself together, and I started working at the studio called Total Track.
Okay.
And that's where I ran into DJ Quik.
Okay. What do you remember about a young DJ Quik?
Young DJ Quik was a good producer. I realized I respected his talent. He was the only producer that I ever worked with. Like, when he bought equipment, before he even plug it in, he reads the manual from front to back. So he's one of the most talented producers that I ever dealt with. The way I met him, he was in the studio working with this girl named Claudia. Claudia was the girl that was she was in MC Hammer's video, one of the cute girls, and she was in Bobby Brown's Every Little Step that I made video. And everybody made the joke that she had the reputation of, you get her in your video, you're gonna go platinum, So the guys at the studio was trying to put a record together on her, but she was just okay, as an artist. So me and Quik hooked up and we became good friends. But he was a member of a group called Penthouse Players. Yeah. Player Ham, Tweed Cadillac, and I wanted to sign the whole group, but me and Player Ham, we couldn't connect.
So Penthouse Players was before DJ Quik's solo career.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah, he was a member of the group. He produced them.
Okay.
So I tried to sign the whole group, but we couldn't come to no terms. But me and Quik came to terms, and he left the group.